Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And I hope that you have had a really wonderful week. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment, here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. For those of you who tune in every single week, welcome back and thanks so much for joining here. Thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And for those of you who are watching the replay on YouTube, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe, Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube. For those of you who have missed some of the episodes this month, or you're new, what we've been talking about all month long is this notion of self-care, self-love, and hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. And also positive self-talk, right? Because the goal on Mental Health Moment is to help you become the best version of who you are so you can show up for yourself and to show up for those around you. Good evening. Welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. And again, for those of you who are new, I am in Florida, where I reside. Normally, I'm some other city or another, but today I am in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. So let me know in the chat here where you're tuning in from today. And hi, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here again. So today is the last Tuesday of February. You all, I still can't believe, I feel like the beginning of the year just always flies by. So I can't believe we're almost in March, which is crazy, you all. But today's the last Tuesday of February. So it's the last of our talks, if you will, about how to, again, love yourself, right? So self-love and that positive self-talk. Thanks for tuning in from Los Angeles is in the house. Welcome. Atlanta's here. Houston, Texas, Banning, California, Missouri, Delaware, Texas, San Francisco, Louisville, Africa or West Africa. Welcome, Maryland. Thanks so much for tuning in here. So someone said 305 represent from Homestead. Awesome. Down south. I love it. Minneapolis, Huntington Beach, California. Welcome. Thanks so much again for you all tuning in today. So what I wanted to share with you as we kind of wrap up this month here with these type of topics and thinking about your self-talk, your love for yourself, is as you grow in this journey, be prepared, you all, that the self-doubt actually can come on stronger. So I know it sounds weird, right? Because you're like, wait a minute, we've been talking about the strategies. Again, if you missed it, you can watch it on my Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube. The past month, we've been talking about, or this month, I should say, we've been talking about some strategies of how to deal with the negative self-talk that we all have and how to have this more positive version of yourself and loving yourself, right? But as you grow, you will continue to have self-doubt. And what's so crazy about that is the more you grow, right, in your mental health journey, we all are at different places, and that's okay. In your mental health journey, you will start to become a better version of who you are. But even in that space, I just want you to be prepared. The negative self-talk really never 100% goes away, but I don't want you to fall into what you've probably heard before about imposter syndrome. I feel like I've seen that on like every social media platform nowadays. It's a buzzword or buzz phrase that we're hearing about this imposter syndrome, but it's a real thing, you all, where you may get to the point when you're growing in who you are in your wellness journey and being the better version of you and working on your strategies for the positive self-talk, all those things, you hit a point where you're like, whoa, who am I? Right? Questioning yourself, questioning your worthiness, questioning your worth, questioning who you are, thinking you're a fraud, thinking you're not good enough. All of these things will start to come up. And for some of you, and greetings for you again who are still tuning in here. And for some of you, what is going to happen, I can promise you this as a psychologist, I could tell you because I've heard thousands and thousands of stories from people. You will do so much better in your journey of your self-love and your journey of yourself. And then something will happen, because that is how life is. It's a bump in the road, right? And then you're going to take some steps back when it comes to the self talk. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question who you are. You're going to question your growth. Trust and believe that is completely normal, you all. You are still okay, right? You got to pick yourself up. Sometimes we got to take a pause, right? We have to take a nice, a pause, a planned pause, if you will. And whatever it is you're doing, take care of you and whatever your situation is that you're going through. And then you start to get back on track. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Atlanta's in the house, Connecticut, Virginia, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Cincinnati, Ohio, LA. We got a lot of people here from LA tonight. Dallas, San Antonio, and another person from Dallas. So welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here for those of you who are just tuning in here with your mental health moment today. So again, this whole entire month, it's been devoted to self-love, your journey of self-love, your journey of positive self-talk. We've talked about a lot of strategies, and I really want to ask you today, what is it for you, for those of you who have been here at least one other day, if not the whole entire month? And thanks, because I see familiar faces. Thanks for tuning back in. What is the one takeaway for you that you have learned? Because this could be a strategy that could help someone else in your journey for self-love and your journey for positive self-talk. So put it in the chat. What is one thing that you have learned for you that works for you, right? And I told you all before, sometime this month, that one of my aha moments, if you will, in my life was when I was really struggling with positive self talk, frankly, and really being way too hard on myself, like way too critical. Right? We should always examine ourselves, ask ourselves different things, reflect. That's normal. But it was just way too critical. And the way that I was talking to myself, right, our internal dialogue in our brain was not something I would ever say to someone close to me, right? So that was my aha moment. I'm like, wait a minute, I would never talk to my close friends like that. I would never talk to my child like that. I would never talk to people I care about the way I was talking to myself, right? So that for me was like a big shift to say, wait a minute, right? Because we all deserve that. You should be working on, if you're not there, it's okay, but you should be working on a point where you're talking to yourself the way you would talk to someone you truly cared about, right? Compassionately, and inspiring yourself, uplifting yourself, right? That's the type of dialogue we should have. Yep. Someone says, I literally just left a webcast on imposter syndrome. Wow, that's crazy. It underscores the buzz and the need for positive talk. Absolutely. And it is a real thing. Again, you all, for those of you just tuning in, thinking about this imposter syndrome, it is a real thing. I am preparing you on this journey because many of you tune in every single week, again, to learn tips and strategies to take care of yourself. And I wanted to remind you today that the bumps in the road will come, because they just do, right? And be prepared when you start getting into that dialogue of imposter syndrome. Some of you, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're trying to be the best grandmother in the world, or grandfather in the world, or aunt or uncle, or coworker or employee, or whatever role that you serve in your life, you are trying to be a better version of who you are, which you will achieve that. But when you do, right, even when you're at the top of the mountain, you're going to be like, wait a minute, and you're going to start to question yourself, because that is what happens to each and every one of us when we experience change, even positive change. So I want you to prepare for that moment as well, right? Always, we talked about mindset actually in the month of January, but always being mentally prepared for these types of things, which doesn't always make life the easiest, but it helps you, right? If we prepare for that, prepare for those times. Greetings from Alabama. Welcome, welcome. Memphis, Tennessee is in the house. Illinois is in the house. Someone said they use a constant affirmation of who I am and whose I am, getting in the word. Beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. Very, very important. We've talked on a couple of mental health moments ago about how important affirmations are. Now, I will say, I want to speak to that person who mentioned that. I will say, utilize affirmations. And for those of you who are not familiar, affirmations are positive things that you tell yourself, whatever it is for you, though, most importantly, that you believe. Okay. Because sometimes there's these affirmations, things that we tell ourselves that we don't believe that. Like, you could tell yourself, I'm the greatest person in the world. And you're like, no, I'm not. Like, you're having a hard day, or you're struggling with something in your life, right? But telling yourself things that you believe to be true, and practicing reframing the way your thoughts are practicing the way to reframe the way that the way that you're thinking about yourself. And again, I don't want to minimize you all. Sometimes this is really difficult. It really depends on what space you're in. For some of you, you may be like, you know what, Dr. Hammond, in a really good space. For some of you, you're like, Dr. Hammond, I'm struggling with depression or anxiety or trauma or something that has recently happened to me or someone that I care about, right? You might be in that space. So it's a little bit harder. I never want to minimize this journey, this wellness journey we're all on. It is really difficult sometimes. It just really just is. And I also want to say my PSA today is just a reminder, if you or someone you know, if the try it at home tips, if you will, and strategies are too difficult for you to work on your self-love or to work on your positive self-talk, recognize there's a lot of amazing mental health professionals out there who can help you on that journey as well. You know, I have to put that PSA out there because I know there's a stigma of mental health. We've talked about this for years on Mental Health Moment, but you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve to feel worthy. You deserve self-love. There's so many things that you deserve. And I promise you, if it's just too hard to do it on your own, there's a lot of mental health professionals that can help you. So again, you can always go to my website, drnikishahammond.com. You can connect with me on social. You can send me a message you can send me a message on practically any social media platform like many of you have, and I'll do my best to try to connect you with a resource, at least in your area, because that's really, really important. And again, for some of you, you don't need that. You don't need a mental health professional. For some of you do, right? It just depends on where you're at. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong way to approach this. You have to do what's best for you. Someone else said, let me see. Oh, I love this one. Someone else says, life is a marathon and you must pace yourself too to really get to a point where you fully love yourself as well as others. It's not meant to be easy. Struggling means you're in it to win it in the end. I'm just saying. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Life is absolutely a marathon. It's absolutely true, you all. I will tell you, I'm just being honest with you as a psychologist. Well, at this point in my career, I don't do therapy. I focus on evaluations. I speak at events all over the country. But in the beginning of my career, 14 years ago, when I did start out as a psychologist, or when I did do therapy, I really recognized in those couple of years when I was spending with patients that it is so much a journey, and it's not a right or wrong, because for some people it would take 6 or 8 sessions. They would get back on track in their life. Some people it would take months. Some people it would take years, right? It's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing bad about it. It's just we're all at different places in our mental health and wellness journey, and that's okay. But you have to do what works best for you. So thank you for reminding us of that. Absolutely, life is absolutely a marathon, and we have to pace ourselves. Oh, wow. Yes, I see your message. It's been a while since you attended. My husband passed in December 2022, and I needed some time to get back to life. I still need prayers. Absolutely praying for you. Take care of yourselves. I'm sorry for your loss. We're definitely praying for you. This is definitely a praying community. And I will say, grief is really, really hard. It just is. But you do what works best for you. I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I would tell anyone. You do what works best for you. You take the time that you need to get back on track, like you said. And hopefully you're surrounded by amazing people. Hopefully you have an amazing support system that can help you through this time. But we'll definitely be praying for you. And for those of you who saw that message in there, please, if you believe in prayer, please extend your prayers as well to that person. Someone said, I listen to positive affirmations for women of color daily. Wonderful. I love it. Again, when it comes to the affirmations, you all, yes, do what works for you. And also if you Googled affirmations right now, there's probably like 3,000. Like there's so many affirmations out there. But again, you have to commit to the wording, the phrases, whatever it is that motivates and uplifts and inspires you. For me, you all know my phrase, keep going, keep growing. That's me. I have it right here on my laptop. I have it surrounded around me. I have a whole merch line on it, because that is something that's very near and dear to my heart and has gotten me through a lot. But for you, whatever your word, whatever your phrase, whatever your affirmations, if you have a list of them, I have a colleague of mine, I think she reads like 30 a day, right? So it's you do what's best for you. So thank you for sharing that. I love that. And good evening to you. Thanks for joining. Stonecrest, Georgia's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Arlington, Texas, hey, is in the house. Welcome, welcome. Published by A Better You. Love it, love it. Someone said, we are not perfect, but God didn't create junk either. I detour whenever a negative thought pops into my mind. Change course of direction and tell myself how much I'm loved, etc., so I can love others. I love that. And for you all, I also want to say, because this is our last week of the self-love conversation, I do want to say, just as how that person said, as a reminder, it's not always easy to, when you have the negative thoughts, to take a detour and go to the positive. It can be hard, but the key to it is you have to practice, right? Like anything, we have to practice. Training our brains is not something that's overnight. I wish it was, you all. It would make my life so much easier if I could just say one thing or write one book, right? Or do one mental health moment. I've been on here for years, which I absolutely love, because it takes time, you all. We're all on a journey. So remember to practice those things. If that's where you're at and you're trying your best to replace those negative thoughts, which we talked about a whole mental health episode on replacing the negative thoughts as they come in, and you recognize them with something positive, it can really be life-changing. But don't get frustrated with yourself, because it takes time to learn that practice. But I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Someone said, when people call and blame me for their depression, I say, Jesus loved me and my pet is crazy about me and happy to see me every day. I love that. And also, pets are amazing. I don't have any pets. Well, not right now in my life. I did in the past, but I agree with you. Pets are amazing. They can be very comforting. I love that you're saying the things, though. Jesus loved me, my pet's crazy about me, and happy to see me. Like, those are things that are true, right? So you tell yourself things that are true, everyone. You tell yourself things that are true and things that you believe. So not the things that you're like, man, that's not true. There's some affirmations out there. If you read it to yourself, you'd be like, your brain's gonna be like, that's not true. So don't get to those yet. That might be the advanced affirmations, but start with the easier ones that when you say it to yourself, you can go, yep, that's true. And honestly, you all, again, we're all at different places. If one of the affirmations out there, right, is like, I feel worthy, I am loved. And if your brain is like, no, I'm not, do not blame yourself. It's okay. You might not, that might be too hard because of whatever happened in your life for you to say those things and really believe it. So you start with something easier. What do you believe about yourself? Positive things, positive things you believe about yourself. You start there, right? So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I love it. Someone said, I'm struggling, but I'm hoping. Hope is very powerful, you all. Hope is very powerful. Amen to and yours and all who are checking in. Thank you all. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, someone said, being a survivor of different types of abuse, I am a survivor. The Lord has brought me a mighty long way. And I think because you put in all caps, I am a survivor, that might be your phrase for you, right? And there's a lot of people possibly in this chat today that may be experiencing the same thing, which is why thank you all, by the way, for putting in the chat what is working for you, because someone else might be reading this and be like, wait a minute, I'm going through that same thing, let me try that too, right? So that might be your phrase for you. I'm a survivor. Like, that might be something that empowers you. That might be something that wakes you up in the morning. That might be something that gets you going, right? Which is incredible. Right. So again, all of us have different stories. All of us have different situations that we've been through in our life. But the most important thing is, what is it that you can cling to, whether it's words of affirmations or whatever it is that you can continue working on your self-love journey, so that you can get into an even stronger place, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Yes. Someone asked, that's a really long answer, but the short answer is yes. Someone says, is it possible to function without depression meds? Short answer, yes, but it's a really, really long, complicated answer, which is probably another mental health moment. But yes, for some people, yes, they can function without medication, and some people need medication. Praying always, beautiful. You're welcome. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement. You're welcome. You're welcome. Standing in the gap for the grieving widow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. I always get chills when you're just supporting each other in the chat. That makes me very happy. So thank you all for supporting. Oh, I love that. Thank you all for supporting each other, even in the chat as I'm talking. That really makes me happy. And I'm so happy this community is so supportive of one another. Even if you don't even know, I got to just get out of my soapbox for a second, but even if you don't know the person in the chat, they're a stranger. The fact that you're being supportive to them, the fact that you're like telling them you're going to pray for them, that you're thinking about them, like that's powerful. That's very powerful and that's very meaningful for people. There have been strangers in my life that have done things and said things to me that just is almost life changing, right? I don't even know them. So it's very powerful. So thank you all for doing that. I'm just reading your comments here. Oh, I love that too. Someone said, I keep a good vibe only jar on my office desk. I pass out positive affirmations when people need their bucket refilled. I love that. And I love that for two reasons. One, these are such great ideas. Oh, I need to like, I don't know. Someone screenshot the chat. These are great ideas. So I'm glad you all are sharing this today. But first of all, I love that you keep your own good vibes only, jar on your desk for you. But also, I love that not only is that for you, but also you're passing these out to other people, right? So again, we talked so much all this month about self-love, you all. But one of the greatest things about self-love, of course, is it's great for you. But again, when you change and you continue to change into this more and more amazing person, you are impacting the people around you as well, your family, your friends, a community, whomever, right? So this is for you and for those around you. But that's beautiful. Thank you for doing that and passing out positive affirmations when people need it. That's wonderful. I love that. Someone said I use positive gospel music early in the morning, and my dog and I praise the Lord together. I love that. We're doing praise with the dog. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. That's beautiful. Affirmations are the best. They have been my saving grace for building my self-confidence and gratitude journey. I model this for my clients as a trauma recovery coach. I love it. Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. And yes, definitely building self-confidence, definitely gratitude journey that we are all on. I love it. And thank you for sharing and thank you for being here. Evening from Baltimore. Welcome. Someone said they were praying also for that other person. Thank you all for praying for her. Someone said, I suffer from melanoma cancer on the bottom of my foot. It was difficult past 3 years, gained 40 pounds, but working through it daily. Beautiful. I love that. And, again, we are all faced with our own set of challenges. It looks differently. We're all on different journeys. However, one of the things that's so important for each and every one of us, because we all deserve this, you deserve this, is to work on your level of self-love, is to work on your level of growth. Again, when you grow, as a reminder, the imposter syndrome comes up for a lot of people. Or I had this, let me read it to you. I had this, I put it on my Instagram. I shared it on my Instagram story today. There's this Instagram account, which I really love. I don't know them personally, but they're called We the Urban, at We the Urban, if you're on Instagram. And they have such great motivational stuff. So I'm usually sharing it in my stories. But one of the things I shared today was their post that said you should have compassion for your previous selves, right? So it says have compassion for previous selves. And what that means is what happens a lot of times with our self-talk, you all, is either you're worried about the future or you might be worried about something in the past. But you have to remember that usually it's maybe something you did, but that was an older version of you, right? That was a previous version of who you are. So if you are worried right now about something that happened to you 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, like that is not who you are today, right? And I know it's easier said than done, but just remembering to have compassion for that person. I know I'm guilty too. Like there are things I'm like, man, why didn't I know this 10 years ago? Or why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do that? Or why did I make this decision? And it's like, but that was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So like we have to remember these are previous versions of who we are. We're trying to grow into better people, right? That's why you're here. I know that's why you're here on Mental Health Moment. So keeping that in mind. Someone else said, let me see. Someone said, praying for those struggling in mental health. It's a daily struggle. We must do what ultimately works for us. It's not cookie cutter. It absolutely isn't. If it was, man, that would be so much easier, but it's not because we're complicated, you all. We're people, and that's okay. Along with therapy, having a relationship with Jesus is a blessing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Spirituality, your religion, whatever it is for you. And again, Mental Health Moment, we are open to every religion, race, ethnicity, gender. Everyone is open and welcome here. But again, if you have a practice for spirituality or your religion, that research has definitely shown is a huge help, if you will, with your mental health journey. So beautiful, beautiful. Someone said the practice of self love and stopping those negative thoughts is so important because our brain defaults to those damaging emotions. Yes, it may have been an experience, but not the full journey. You are more than the event. I love that. I love that. You are more than the event. See that, y'all? Okay, y'all. Today, I feel like when you're sharing your experiences, you're actually putting in all these really cool affirmations as well. Because even telling yourself that you are more than the event, that's huge. You are. That's. I mean, that's really huge to think about. There's a lot of things that have happened to us, whether it's in your childhood, whether it's something again that happened yesterday, last week, last month, 10 years ago, or wherever, where we think that that's what we are because this particular thing happened to us, but that's not true, right? That's not even true. So that's I love that. You are more than the event. So true, so true. Love it. Thank you for your wisdom. You're absolutely welcome. May the Most High Father God continue to bless you all too. Love, peace, joy, and never give up. Life is a blessing. Thank you for blessing this community. I love it. Someone said, because I'm a survivor, I've learned in life that procrastination is the assassination of motivation. You all, okay. I'm going to give you all of you gold stars today because you put that in large letter. I mean, in large writing, all caps. Procrastination is the assassination of motivation. So I take every opportunity given. I love it. I love it. Like I said, you guys should be screenshotting this. This is so good because these are all affirmations that you can be using in your life. And I love it. Someone said they're singing "We Fall Down, but We Get Up." I'm reading that because I don't want to sing that to you all because yeah, I didn't inherit the singing gene. As an aside, my grandmother is an amazing, incredibly amazing singer. She sang, she's 91. Now I can't keep up with her age, almost 92. Amazing woman. She sang on the choir for so many years in church. She has the most amazing, beautiful voice. My mom also great singer. And then for me, didn't exactly get the singing gene. So I'm not going to sing that, but I know what song you're talking about. We fall down, but we get up. So thanks for sharing that. Someone said, praying for my cousin who lost her son. Yes, 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 yes. Prayers, prayers for sure. Keep going, keep growing. I love that. Yes, that is my motto. That's what I live by. Someone said, just remember that even though you're currently going through a challenging situation now, be reassured that that once you overcame it, you are an overcomer. Absolutely. And, that is a really great point too. And that is something that's helpful for a lot of people in your journey of the positive self-talk, in your journey of positive self-love for yourself, if you will, because there's a lot of things that you're probably thinking about that you struggled with that happened to you or happened for you, however you want to look at it. But there's also a lot of things in your life that you did overcome, right? You probably defied the odds a lot of times. I know for me personally, there are so many things that people said to me growing up because of how I looked, because of how I talked, because of this and that, just so much negative things. Society just saying so many negative things about who I was or what I was going to be or what I was supposed to be, all of these things, right? But I had to overcome all of that. So some of you may be struggling of thoughts with the self-talk because of what other people told you about yourself, which is maybe not even true, because of what society told you were supposed to be, which is not even true, right? Or because of something that happened to you that you're thinking about, you should have done different or should have happened differently, all these sorts of things. But a lot of it, again, is just our thoughts. It doesn't make any of it true. So thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Someone said, God is a healer, and I'm praying for him to heal cancer, the abuse, and all those who are going through this at this time. Thank you for your prayers. Beautiful. Someone said the group is on fire tonight. I'm taking notes. Good. Yes. For those of you who take notes, I hope you're taking notes because I'm so proud of you all for sharing just all these amazing things. This really warms my heart because, again, like I said, it doesn't matter if you don't know the next person that, type something above you. Like, this is what community is about, and making sure that you're doing your best. Like, you guys are so supportive in this chat to one another. And again, I know most of you don't even know each other. You may live on the opposite side of the world, right? But it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are taking this time for you. You are taking this time to work on being the best version of who you are, again, to show up for you and to show up for those around you. So I love it. And I love the fact that you all are just so supportive of one another. So thank you all. Someone said, activate your faith. Absolutely. Thank you. You are more than the event. Yes, someone loved that. I love that too. Someone said, Dr. Hammond, thank you for being the vessel to bringing the light to mental wellness. You're absolutely welcome. It is an honor. It is a joy. I am really extremely grateful. For me, this is very a spiritual journey, if you will, for myself as well. And I am grateful to be a vessel. I do consider myself just very honored to, yes, be doing God's work, if you will, and sharing this information with you. So thank you for saying that. So I'm going to wrap up here. I'm like way over you all. So for those of you who are new, it's not usually this long of a mental health moment. I will definitely wrap up, but I just wanted to make sure to read all of your comments because I just love so much that you all shared your experiences, you shared your affirmations, you were supportive of one another. That's what this is all about. So not just in this chat here today on Mental Health Moment, but wherever you're at in your communities, whether your family, your friends, please do your best to be supportive of one another. I can promise you all, as a psychologist that has heard, I don't even know how many, a couple thousands and thousands of stories. There's a lot of people who are hurting. There's a lot of people who are hurting and you don't know they're hurting because they're not telling you they're hurting, because people hide things because of the stigma of mental health. People are put smiles on their faces and they're struggling with their mental health. They're struggling with self-talk. They're struggling with their level of worthiness, if you will. So again, for you to make sure that you're, as much as you can be, supportive of the people around you, supportive of people in the chat. If you smile at someone in a grocery store, all those little things really matter and add up for each and every one of us. So I encourage you to do that today. That's your homework assignment. Be nice to someone. But you all, I will be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for those who stayed to the end. I know we went like super long today. But I'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. If you need me before that, drnikishahammond.com, or you can reach out on any social media outlet. I'll be on there, probably spreading more mental health information and something uplifting. I love my quotes, my motivational quotes, and all those sorts of things. So I like to share that with the community to keep you all uplifted. But someone said, go Gators. How did you know? Yes, go Gators. For sure. But take care of yourselves. I will see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing week. Be kind to yourself. Be careful what you tell yourself. Be kind to others. And I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.